Alrighty guys, welcome in. This is your boy Just Call Me Tex, and I'm back with another RTS video, but this time we're doing something a little bit different. We're gonna have a podcast with some of the top leaders within RTS. We're gonna go over their thoughts and opinions on what's going on in the state of the game and how the ship can be turned around. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the people here that are going to be in the podcast. So we have Squirrel Girl, we have OJ. You guys probably know OJ. He's on all the forums. Mombi, Mandy, and Juice. Go ahead and say hello to everyone, guys.
Everybody.
Hey everyone. Hello.
Hey, all.
Alrighty, so I think we're all coming from very different standpoints within RTS right now. As far as like playing levels, some of you guys are at the very, very top and everything, and some of the top factions, and I myself kind of stepped down to a lower faction, just creating content and everything like that. But we'll go ahead and we'll start it off with Juice. We'll just go in the order that is listed on the Discord here. We'll start off with Juice. What is your thoughts on the state of the game right now? You there, Juice?
If anything, I can jump in.
Okay,
on
go
that
ahead.
side.
Go ahead, OJ.
Yeah, I don't know if he's not hearing it right now, but where I think that the state of the game is at, I'm pretty vocal without throughout the community, throughout the different channels in Discord, as many are aware. Right now, I think that this is probably one of the I'll call it for what it is, saddest states of RTS that we've been in. As somebody who's been playing for several years now, starting off from wave 3 and working my way up eventually to 1B, then 1A in the old wave system. I've seen all different levels of play. And I think that right now, between the lack of player base and the amount of um, paywall that comes in between being able to remain even, competitive in this point of the game, the gap has, become bigger than ever. Forget a power creep; it's become a power spike. If you're not able to keep up with any of the new promos, if you're not able to keep up with the new weapons, anything like that, you're falling so far behind that no matter what offer is out there, if you're not keeping up in that moment, you're never going to be able to keep up. So as coming from somebody who actually, is willing to pay for the product, I can't imagine what it's like for somebody who's not in the same position as I am, to not be able to keep up to the same degree that I am without having to shell out a decent amount of financial support in order to remain at that level.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. It almost feels like the free to play foot has been taken from underneath the players. You know what I mean? Like it feels as though there is no almost like death to free to play, which is a big problem because in any type of game, especially the games that we play of this nature, free to play is like the heart and soul of the game. Because yes, you have people who spend and who's gonna spend, but if the spenders don't have anybody to play against, right, after a while you're gonna stop spending, right? Because you're gonna, it's almost like hitting your head against the wall, and it just feels as though, as far as the free to play go, that they kind of just, I don't know, it just feels like a empty space. This has been a crazy time within the game. I'm seeing a lot of the top teams, when I'm in a war region, despite the region, they having 2-3 mercs. This is something that you've never seen before. So it does seem like it's in a downspin, and it's due to, like you said, the power creep within the tunes themselves, and just how the acquiring of a tune is laid out. So I definitely agree with you on that sentiment. Squirrel, did you have anything you wanted to say? Anybody next? Want to go up? What's your thoughts
I
on?
just,
Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, I kind of agree, I do agree with OJ. I think it's just deteriorated so badly over the past, I've been playing for years as well. Um, and the amount of promos that they're pushing out now, just constant paywalls, it's just too much. We're getting people just retiring all the time because they just don't want to keep shedding out all that money, and there's absolutely no way for any free to play player to be able to get those tunes. Unless you're spending, you're not getting them because they don't appear anywhere on any of the wheels. Um, the gold token wheel is just redundant at this point. So yeah, I mean it's pretty bad, to be fair. No motivation to want to play, to be honest. The rewards are terrible. So why
Mm.
should you just constantly shed out money for a game that's just getting worse and worse? That's my opinion, the general opinion of most Inwalkers, to be fair.
And that's when you think about it, right? RTS really had some really good highs. And I know that sometimes, like, community wise, things could be toxic, but overall, RTS to me is a good community. You make good friends playing the game, you build good relationships, game wise and stuff like that. And when you've been playing with somebody for 4 or 5 years and you see them just say, you know what, I'm done. I'm not playing no more. And it's like, man, it's tough, but it's because everything is locked behind paywalls. And I think the reason behind this is because whenever you have power creep games, they all end the same way. I've never played a power creep game and it doesn't come to a point where it reaches a peak and then the player base dissipates. Like, I've never been in a place where this does not happen. And that's the thing here, because like you have to keep making stronger and stronger characters in order for you to be able to keep up. And honestly, with tunes being the price that they are, I could see if a tune was $40, $50, you can get all the tunes, but tunes are like $300, $400 a tune, and they're pushing out 6 of them a month. Nobody can keep up with that. So it kind of drives the player base off. And do you guys believe that that's also due to the lack of game modes in the game, or game updates? Because where are you going to play these guys? Most of them are defensive, right? So where you never see them. You never see these tunes. So you think it could be because of the lack of input within game modes?
I can jump in on that first. And I'm pretty sure that we could go round robin with everybody's input on what the problem is. I think that one of the big things is, yes, game modes is a huge problem. A lot of the stuff is still so backdated to the OG 3, 4 star days, where maybe that would have been even probably the earlier part of the 5 star days. But there's really no initiative in order to bring anything really up to date. When they did try introducing new game modes, probably the most innovative one that they had introduced was Onslaught. I mean, Onslaught, Hordes. When they
Yeah,
introduced
true.
Hordes was a totally different dynamic, and that was actually you making zombies work against defenses, which was actually a pretty fun twist, because everybody's trying to figure out how do I stop the walkers from killing me, or how do I stop this, where can I set up a turret? But now it's a lot of the game modes except for war have become rinse and repeat. to the point where, the biggest change that we saw, drastically in War was the adding of the 3 defenses and completely eliminating the S classes from competitive play. Those were the biggest changes, and then obviously we saw different things. But yes, I think one of the biggest problems is that we can only use our tunes in certain places, and there's really no other interest to use them other places, because you could literally get away with you could get away with a Gen 1 Mythic at T1 on some of these modes. Like, I could literally put in somebody that I just got from, as a new player, and let them run shop on, say, SR or your daily roadmaps and stuff like that. So there's really no other initiative to put these tunes anywhere else. So that's my take.
Anyone else before I chime in?
Yeah, hey guys, sorry I couldn't get off mute before, but I would agree, and it does seem like over time they've been limiting the different types of events almost as a cost reduction. Not putting money into developing as many events. Maybe it's because of revenue decline, I don't know, but it does seem like there's been less innovative events or just anything new thrown at us as time has gone on. So we only have War to look forward to, and that, as much as I love it, can it gets a little monotonous at times, and especially with the heavier defensive metas that they push out. Like, it just makes that less and less fun over time.
Yeah, I totally agree. Which is one of the reasons why I dropped down faction, is because when you're in that top 3-4, it feels like after the first couple of hours, that's all you face. And if you're not the top dog, it's tough trying to keep, punching up against some of the stronger factions and everything like that. So, what renewed my joy, because I absolutely love War. It's the pretty much the only part of the game we still have left. So I love War and everything, and it feels good to be able to play against like the 38th team that I can be able to just win quickly, get some points, and move on, and not be, I remember one War, it was like 1, 2, 5, 7, 7, 2, 1, 1. It was ridiculous, so you get tired of doing that all the time. So there has been a decline. Obviously, there has been a decline in revenue. You can almost see those things simply because of, how things are being laid out in the game, right? Like, it's not going to take a rocket scientist for us to even, our player base to be like savants, to be able to see like, okay, something is definitely going on because of, all these modes that could be good. Like, OJ, you said something about Hordes. Hordes was fun. I loved Hordes, Hordes is going, a couple weeks ago when we had Onslaught come back, it showed me, okay, this is what will happen if you had to go up against one strong elite defense every War. So it kind of makes you appreciate the 3 defenses in War, because now you kind of get a little bit of variety to be able to score points. So it does feel good in those aspects. But as far as that, everything else is just like rinse and repeat. Survival Road, no updates to that. Level Up, no updates to that. As far as like, why not put tunes or shards into Level Up? You know what I mean? So like a person could at least be able to get a piece of a character.